Heidegger. N. Evil and Desolation. Tienkong Tran, Ph.D. Chapter 1. Evil and Desolation. At the beginning of being and time, Heidegger says, the question of being has today been forgotten. What is important in this saying? It is important because 1. According to Heidegger, the essence of man resides in his relation to being. Being is forgotten, that means the essence of man is forgotten. 2. The essence of man is forgotten, that means man does not live as true man or as Dasein, their being. 3. But if man does not live as Dasein, their being, does anything important happen? There is an important, very important, utmost important event, man becomes evil, and desolation reigns the world. In the Fundamental Concepts of Metaphysics, 1928, Heidegger talks about the decline of the West. There are 4 interpretations of our contemporary situation of the decline of the West. Contemporary includes our time. 1. The decline of life in and through spirit. What spirit has formed and created for itself in technology, economy, in world trade is now turning against life and forcing culture into decline and decay. 2. Spirit is seen as the adversary of the soul, life. Spirit is a sickness which has to be exorcised in order to liberate the soul. We must return to life, and life is now the obscure simmering of drives. This is the opinion of a few people, specially of Nietzsche. 3. This interpretation does not put life against spirit. Instead, it attempts to find a balance between life and spirit. This is Max Scheler's view. 4. This interpretation is like the third one. It looks for a new sublation of the opposition between life and spirit. In general, Heidegger sees, like the 4 above interpretations, a decline of the West. In What Are Poets For? 1934, Heidegger talks about the destitute time. Heidegger cites Hölderlin's quotation, "And what are poets for in a destitute time?" For Hölderlin's historical experience, the appearance and sacrificial death of Christ marked the beginning of the end day of the gods. The evening of the world's age has been declining toward its night, and the world's night is spreading its darkness. Why are there the decline and the destitution with the dark night? Heidegger talks about evil and desolation in a work which is published after his death, Country Path Conversations, 1944–1945. In 1927, with Being and Time, Heidegger does not see evil and desolation yet. Section 1. Evil. With the time of technology, being becomes a vapor which is disappearing. What remains is only material. Living with material only, man lives with will. Material appears according to man's will. In the present technological world, beings are set and planned by man's will. In our present time, being is forgotten, man knows only beings. When man casts away being and lives with beings only, what happens? When man is on this shore or the shore of being, when man does not reach the other shore or the shore of being, men are not only beasts but also below beasts. In Ponderings 2:6, Heidegger writes, "Being is the ether in which mankind breathes. Without this ether, humans would descend to the level of mere beasts and even lower, and all human activity would be reduced to breeding like cattle." As we have seen, will is being in our present technological world. According to Heidegger, will is evil. Perhaps in general the will itself is what is evil. What is evil? Will is will of increase. Evil is malice. Malice for having more. Malicious will asks for increase, having more. Will is malice and so evil. Will of increase is insurgency, furiousness for increase. Insurgency is insurgency because of uncontentedness, because of furiousness of the present situation. The prominent manner of increase is usurpation, robbery and war. To achieve the usurpation, one needs weapons. But evil has its wisdom. It does not let its rage break out. When the rage breaks out, it disguises itself, as if there is no threatening. The turmoil and the dissolution take place everywhere. When Heidegger talks about evil, he does not stand on the plane of morality, he stands on the plane of being. With the dominance of being as will, man becomes evil. This is a fact. If we are under the dominance of will and want to surpass evil, we will fail. We teach to destroy the evil without casting away the will, we build a castle on the sand. When men are on this shore, his being is will and evil. Preaching the way to the evil is impossible. There is a survey that dictates that after living the church, the believers live with the same practices as the non-believers. We see that many monks commit sins because they do not know that becoming a monk is leaving this shore and reaching the other shore. If a man who becomes a monk is still greedy for money, love, and fame, it is sure that he will fall in the devil's hands. Talking about evil, we often think of wicked animals like tigers or lions. However, tigers or lions live by their nature. When they are hungry, they hunt. There is no problem of good or evil for them. But men have freedom to follow the good or the evil. Men are not bound by their nature like animals. Here freedom does not indicate doing what one likes by his own will. Here freedom means the choice of the manners of living, particularly the choice between the good living and the evil living. When following the evil manner, men are below beasts. According to Heidegger, we are living below beasts. Section 2. Desolation. Evil is malice and malice is devastation. What is devastation? With devastation, Heidegger wants to say that everything, the world, the human and the earth, is transformed into a desert. A desert is a wild land, and this wild land is a place without life. Desolation reigns everywhere. Here life indicates being. Being is the human way of living or human life. In a desert, life or being is forgotten. Desolation is the situation of the loss of life. But how can we say that life is forgotten? Today people do many things for life, progress, unrestrained escalation of achievement in all areas of creating, equal employment opportunities for everyone, uniform welfare of all workers, world order, world security, medium living, human rights. But according to Heidegger, those are only a monstrous offspring of evil. They are malicious games of evil. They are the manner by which evil disguises its wicked face. Life is life only on the other shore, life as Dasein, their being. The present life is on this shore, and this life is truly not yet life, in its true meaning. So how is the present life taking place? In Overcoming Metaphysics, Heidegger talks about war and peace. In the world of technology there is the consumption of beings, products. Man is also a raw material and the subject of the consumption. The consumption is goal. The consumption of products brings benefit. The consumption of weapons is important. War is the best way of this consumption. Heidegger writes, the question of when there will be peace cannot be answered not because the duration of war is unfathomable, but rather because the question already asks about something which no longer exists, since war is no longer anything which could terminate in peace. The main cause of war is the consumption of weapons. The other causes is minor or false. Today when they talk about victory or defeat, they stand far from reality. The more war lasts, the better it is, for with victory another war must be created. Therefore, that bombs are dropped not on targets or on no target is still a contribution to the consumption of weapons. Heidegger also writes, the world wars and their character of totality are already a consequence of the abandonment of being. They press toward a guarantee of the stability of a constant of using things up. People often say that the world wars caused ruins and desolations. Indeed, according to Heidegger, the world wars are the consequences of the devastation that has gnawed the earth in many centuries. Chapter 2. Thriller Night. The site Heidegger describes as evil and desolate, Michael Jackson sings as Thriller Night. 'Cause this is Thriller Night. And no one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike. You know it's Thriller, Thriller Night. You're fighting for your life inside a killer, Thriller tonight. You hear the door slam and realize there's nowhere left to run. You feel the cold hand and hope that this is just imagination. But all the while you hear the creature creeping up behind. You're out of time. Michael also uses, the dead start to walk in their masquerade, this is the end of your life, there's demons closing in on every side, darkness falls across the land, the midnight hour is close at hand, creatures crawl in search of blood. In the evil world and at the Thriller Night no one is free to live in peace. Heidegger says that peace is something not existing in this world. How many people are killed a day now? Is this not a Thriller Night?